The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the advertisers, owners, or management of Pacific Telestations, LLC. For comments, opinions, and questions, please email Jess Lujan at jessthebuzz@gmail.com. The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. We're going to continue our conversation from last week, of course, the 2018 gubernatorial election. And I have former Senator Rory Respicio in studio to talk just exactly about that in the Democrat perspective. Good evening again, Senator Rory.
Good evening. I guess you didn't dismiss me right yet.
No, I didn't dismiss you. We're still here. But let's talk about continue our conversation about 2018 gubernatorial election here, because you know, I've said this in my perspective in this thing, and I could be totally off in this, but I think from my perspective in looking at this, and you need an exciting chair. Okay, you're the national party chair. You're not the local party chairman. Although you make a good party chairman here in Guam as well. But if you wanted to, I think if you wanted to get, again, as we talked about in the previous episode, in bringing home again the Democrats who had sided with the Republicans, bring them back home, and to excite them as well. I think Carl Gutierrez will make an excellent again, person to lead the Democratic Party in the sense of being the party chair. It would be great to be teamed up with former delegate Robert Underwood to do that as you know, statesman, and as Carl is definitely more exciting than of course Robert Underwood is, but to have those two titular party heads, you know, to lead the Democratic Party. And you know, guide the next gubernatorial team. I think they have an easier route to ad lib. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I guess those running for governor would have to be the one to decide who they want their chair to be. And in Governor Gutierrez's mind, I imagine he's believing that he can excite not only the Democratic Party but the community by being a candidate himself. You know, I really hope that Congressman Underwood gets active in the Democratic Party, because his wife was a past vice chair of the party, but also he still has a lot to contribute. Also, Narissa, you know, I'm hoping Narissa will think about running again for senator, because she was very instrumental in some of the things that she wanted to do in her first term, and you know, she just wasn't given, like I wasn't given an extension of our time to serve in the legislature. But with the upcoming 2018 election, you know, it is absolutely exciting. It's always good when a lot of people run. It's better than not running at all. But I think the fact that it's going to be a wide open race, open, and I don't mean any disrespect to the Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio, who's running on the Republican side, wide open in a sense that Governor Cabo's term limited. He can't run again, so everything might be up for grabs. Well, I'm not sure if Ray Tenorio running is going to be a continuation of a Cabo Tenorio administration, or if he would emerge as an individual in his own right and try to chart his own path. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but it's really, ADLUP is up for grabs, and it's been 16 years since the Democrats have been back to ADLUP. From my perspective, I just want to see what I could do to work very hard to make sure that the ADLUP is going to be run by Democrats again, so you know, we can have those kind of opportunities again for those who didn't have those opportunities over the last 16 years.
You know, when I'm looking at this and analyzing this, again, in my perspective, in my view of this, you know, you get Carl Gutierrez running, and folks will talk about his base, that you definitely need a Carl Gutierrez base to propel you, you know, all that. But when you look at that as well here, I mean, you that base will kind of be split as well, because of the fact that you have like a Joshua Tenorio now, who is a follower, I guess, you know, with Governor Gutierrez, worked for Governor Gutierrez as an assistant chief of staff, I think.
He also worked for Congressman
Underwood, yeah.
and he spent some time in D.C., so
yeah, so
he may pull a little bit of the Underwood.
Yeah, so you pull the Underwood and also the Berdalio side as well. So you have that. So you'll have that. I don't think you'll be able to get the great majority of Carl's base, but you'll definitely claw away at some of that. You have.
But there's two unknown variables right now. We don't know who Governor Gutierrez is going to ask to
run with,
who he will pick, and who Senator Uggan will pick.
Yeah.
And so those are unknown variables.
Do you think? Because I'm hearing that it's going to come from the legislature. I'm hearing the possibilities from the former Governor Gutierrez side, and also from Senator Frank Uggan's side. I'm hearing names of possibilities that they will come from the 34th Guam legislature. Is that what you're hearing as well?
That's what I'm hearing as well. But I'll leave it to them to make their announcements or make their denials.
Okay. Now when we look at, let me throw out the names. Carl Gutierrez, strengths and weaknesses going into the primary.
Well, of course, his strength is grassroots governor. He claims that he's going to be the only grassroots governor. He's the only grassroots governor alive, serving with Governor Gutierrez. He's been very results oriented, and he's always kept his word. And I think that's maybe his biggest fault, is that he always kept his word. And I'm finding that situation to be the same for me. Is that when you commit to someone, you got to follow through all the way,
even to a fault.
Even to a fault. And so that's Governor Gutierrez's greatest strength and his weakness. But also his strength is that he was governor for 2 consecutive terms, and he presided at a time when the economy was so much worse than we are in now. And he claimed, like he says, he's extricated this island from those kinds of economic disasters, working with the federal government to bring some additional resources in. And because he's been governor for 8 years, he has a gubernatorial record which some people can analyze to make their own determinations.
Yeah. Lulian Guerrero, Josh Nora.
Well, I served with Senator Lulian Guerrero when she was in the legislature. She was chair of the Committee on Rules and Health. Very, very strong woman in her own right. And since leaving the legislature and being president of the Bank of Guam, from my perspective, I recognize that she's really refined herself to be in tune with the private sector needs, and that's a critical element in any government. How do you balance the public-private partnership to where you're going to get a win-win for the community? Joshua is coming off of the heels of being administrator of the court. Very intelligent individual. He's also results-oriented, and I've seen Joshua work under tremendous amount of pressure. I see him always be the go-to guy. He was a deputy chief of staff for the Gutierrez administration, so a lot of that work went through Joshua's desk in helping Governor Gutierrez. I guess those are their strengths. Now, maybe someone might say their fault may be is they're not in elected office, but who knows, these days that might be a plus, right? Joshua's now working in the private sector. He's vice president of AutoSpot. So he's going to be able to get that additional private sector experience as a candidate.
When you look at Josh's resume as well, he's worked all 3 branches of government to be inclusive of Congress as well. So
and when I talk to people, they tell me that Josh is an unknown. That how can we know him when he has never served in elected office? And my response is maybe that's what Lou wants. Maybe that's what Senator Leon Guerrero wants, is someone who's not an establishment candidate. And I mean, but for better for worse, we saw the election of Donald Trump as president because he's not an establishment candidate. But look where look where we're heading there, right? I mean, a lot of unknowns. But with Senator Uggan, you know, very, very active guy, a very active individual. I think he's the only one that can be at 10 places at one time. So,
all at the same time, right?
All at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I served with him in the legislature. I have a lot of respect and admiration for him. He's ran for lieutenant governor twice. He said he was going to run for governor in the last gubernatorial cycle. So he's certainly had his mind and his heart in doing something like this, and he has his family behind them. I believe all of them have their families behind them. And so I'm very proud to be a Democrat where we have three very strong, qualified, and capable individuals.
His negativity, though. What's his negativity in your view? Yeah?
I can never get an answer from him, but maybe that's maybe that's what you want to. I don't know.
Yeah. You never know where he stands.
But that's a strength. I remember when we were served in the legislature, he could get up there for 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, give a floor speech, and I would look over to Randy Cunliffe, who we sat next to each other.
Did you support this bill?
I said, Randy, what's his position on the bill?
What was his position on the bill? He spoke for 20 minutes.
But you gotta give him credit. He's a top vote getter.
Yeah.
You know, and he spends the least amount of money, and he does a lot of sweat equity, and I can only begin to admire someone like that, and I could never do what he does.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and continue speaking about the strengths and weaknesses of 2018 gubernatorial candidates. Be right back.